Hey guys, this is Caris and today I want to tell you about my top 10 favourite books of 2015. For me, 2015 was kind of a mixed year for reading. I read loads of good books, but I also had to give up on quite a few books. I went through periods where I read loads and loads of books and then periods where I read almost none. So overall it was kind of mixed, but I definitely did read some books that have become new favourites and I really want to share them with you because they were just so good. Last year I did a top 10 books of 2014 video and I'm basically doing the same again this year, except this year I've decided to try and order them from 10 to 1, like least favourite to favourite. It was very difficult. The books in places 6 to 10 are in places 6 to 10, but you could kind of jumble them about in any way, and it's the same with numbers 1 to 5. They are my top 5 books of the year, but they could all be jumbled around, and I like number 1 just as much as number 5. And this is the top 10 books that I read in 2015, not new releases or anything. Before I begin, I just want to say that there are 3 books that didn't quite make it onto the list, but they kind of deserve to be there, so I'm going to give them like a highly commended award, and they are Love, Tanya by Tanya Burr, I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, and Impulse by Ellen Hopkins. All 3 of these were really good and really enjoyable. It's just they didn't make quite as much of a lasting impact on me as the 10 that I chose, so those just get my highly commended awards, but I would definitely recommend them to everyone. They're so good. So let's dive into the top 10. At number 10 I have chosen The Amazing Book Is Not on Fire by Dan Is Not on Fire and Amazing Phil. If you don't watch Dan and Phil, you need to, because they are hilarious. They make YouTube videos, if you didn't know, although everyone knows, and this year they released a book. I know that a lot of people are kind of against YouTubers releasing books, but personally I really enjoy it. It means I have another way to experience my favourite YouTubers, and The Amazing Book Is Not on Fire was just so good and so funny. I read it after seeing The Amazing Tour Is Not on Fire. I went to see it, it was so good, and this book was kind of just like, it was like their tour. It was just a mix of all their videos and their personality and everything into a book. It's the perfect compilation of Dan and Phil, in my opinion. It has kind of their life and school stories in it. It has like anime stuff, just loads of really fun things that Dan and Phil have done, and it really captures the essence of them in a book, and I really enjoyed it and it was a whole lot of fun to read. If you're not a fan of Dan and Phil, I don't think you would enjoy the book. It's definitely for their fans, but if you do like Dan and Phil, you should definitely give this book a go because it's just so much fun to read and it has like quizzes and all sorts of fun stuff. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. At number 9 I have chosen Dragons of Autumn Twilight by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. This is a quite old book about dragons, if you couldn't tell. One of my friends lent it to me. It's one of his favourite books ever and I did really enjoy it as well. But the characters were so great. There was a really wide range of characters and some of them were really funny and they were all just really well developed. And also the storyline was really interesting. It was kind of like the typical fantasy type thing, but it was still very enjoyable and the dragons were so cool, and I really want to carry on with this series, I just haven't got round to it yet. So yeah, if you're really into fantasy and Tolkien and stuff, I think you'd really enjoy Dragons of Autumn Twilight. For number 8 I have picked Popular by Maya van Wagenen. This book is a memoir written by her. She was, how old was she? I can't remember, she was like 15 or 13 or something when she wrote it, and it basically describes how she followed a 1950s popularity guide and how it worked out for her. It was really funny in places, really heartwarming, also heartbreaking sometimes, and overall it kind of really taught me a lesson about like popularity and what it really means, and just read it. It's got a good message. It's really easy to read and I think it's an amazing thing for Maya to have done. Like I would not have the confidence to follow a 1950s popularity guide at school, but it's so interesting to read about, and yeah, I would recommend it. I'm saying that about everything. I would recommend all of these books, obviously, because they're in my top 10. At number 7 I have picked the Chaos Walking series by Patrick Ness. I've not actually read all 3 books in the trilogy yet. I've only read the first 2, The Knife of Never Letting Go and The Ask and the Answer, but they were both very enjoyable, particularly the second one. My number 6 spot goes to Seconds by Brian Lee O'Malley. This is a graphic novel, as you can see, with lots of cute, colourful, bright illustrations. I've never really read graphic novels before, but I've really enjoyed this one. The story is really good. It's got a mystery element to it. Overall, it's like, what's the genre? It's kind of contemporary, but then it's also got some more fantasy stuff in it in a way. But yeah, the storyline was really inventive and unique. The characters were so cute and funny. It was definitely a good introduction to graphic novels, and I'd really like to read more because this one was so much fun. And I'd recommend it to everyone, even people who don't enjoy reading, because graphic novels are a good thing for people who don't like reading to read, since there aren't that many words. So yeah, if you have a friend who doesn't like reading, recommend this to them. If you have a friend who does like reading, also recommend this to them because it's really good. Really good. At number 5, I have chosen The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I read this on my Kindle over the summer and it was so good. At number 4, I have picked All I Know Now by Carrie Hope Fletcher. And can I just say, I have a signed copy. Oh yeah, I went to see Les Mis in June and I brought my book with me, and I met Carrie and got it signed and got a picture taken with her, although the picture sucks because it sucks. This is another YouTube book, but not really. I don't think of it as one because Carrie had been planning to write it a long time before YouTubers started writing books. It's an advice book based on her life. The advice was really helpful actually, and it made me think a lot. And I really want to read this book again just so I can take it in more, because there's so much like insightful stuff that you can't remember it all. So I really need to read it again and make notes or something. It really sounded like Carrie writing it. I don't know, her voice was just really clear in this book. It's probably best for teenagers, but it could appeal to older people or younger people or whoever. It'll appeal to everyone, and I would highly recommend it. I enjoyed it a lot, and I absolutely cannot wait for Carrie's novel that is coming out this year. On the Other Side, it's going to be epic and I'm so excited. I don't think you understand. It's probably my most anticipated release of 2016. I am so confused. I remember in my video last year I kept getting all the years mixed up. It's happening again. I can't adjust very quickly. My number 3 place goes to Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This was the last book I read in 2015 and it was so amazing. It like blew all my expectations out of the water. I'd only heard good things about it. It's been so hyped up that I was expecting it to be good, but not quite as good as it was. It's about a scavenger hunt within a video game, kind of, because it's set in the future, it's all dystopian and scary, and everyone spends all their time on this video game. But it's so vast and big, this video game, it's insane. And this book, it's like, if you like playing video games, it's basically reading a book about playing video games. It was so good. The characters were great, the storyline was just the best thing ever. It's all I've ever wished for in a book. This is like what I've wanted to read my whole life. It's just, I love it a lot. You might not like it as much if you're not into video games, but I still think that you will, because it's a whole lot of fun. It's really exciting, really action-packed. You don't know what's going to happen next. It's got some really annoying villains, some really great characters. It's so good overall, and I loved it a lot and read it really quickly. I couldn't put it down. I'm not even kidding. Like, I was sitting there, needing the toilet, needing food, but I just couldn't put the book down. I just kept on reading. It was one of those. For number 2, I have chosen Wonder by R.J. Palacio. This book was so amazing. I'm literally saying that about all of them, but this one was especially amazing. It's about a boy who has like a facial deformity and he gets bullied for it and he doesn't like going to school, and it's just about him dealing with that, and it's about him starting at school, I think. I read it a while ago, so I don't really remember that well. It made me so happy and so sad at the same time. I really felt everything that the main character felt. I felt so sorry for him in places, but then it was also really uplifting in places and kind of gave me hope for humanity. It taught me a lot actually about judging people based on what you see, because although you want to say that you don't, if you think about it, you probably do. And you know, it's just made me change my outlook a bit and made me think a bit more about judging people based on what you see. I would recommend this book to everyone. I think it's actually a children's book, but I think it's accessible to all different age groups. I think it's really important that people read it actually, because it does teach a very, very good lesson. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, book number 1. More Than This by Patrick Ness. Oh, this book was absolutely insane. I'd heard good things about it, but I wasn't really sure what to expect. And I read it, and it was another one of those books that you just can't put down. It takes priority over everything. It was insane. I can't even tell you much about what it's about. Basically, a boy dies, and he wakes up. Doesn't even have a definable genre, to be honest. It's really, really creepy in places, which I liked. It's really action-packed in places, very mysterious, keeps you guessing literally the whole way through. And then the ending as well is just so good in every way. I loved everything about this book, and oh, it was just amazing. It probably is my top favourite book of the year, but I'm not sure because the others were so good as well. Yeah, last year, I'm so confused. Last year I read a lot of Patrick Ness because the only book I've ever read by him is A Monster Calls, but last year I read obviously the 2 Chaos Walking books and More Than This, and I loved them all, so I really, really want to read more Patrick Ness. Basically, he's just an absolutely amazing writer. His books kind of bend your brain in all weird ways, make you think, make you laugh, make you cry. I like Patrick Ness, he's one of my new favourites. So yeah, More Than This was insane. I would recommend it to everyone since it kind of has a bit of everything. So yeah, those were my top 10 books of 2015. Maybe you agree with some of the books, maybe you disagree, I don't know. Tell me what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, that would be really cool. And if you want to see more of my videos, you could click the subscribe button if you want to. I will see you very, very soon, and I hope your 2016 has started off really good and that you're doing lots of reading and feeling really happy. So yes, see you next time. Bye!